Good evening. I can see a few people joining, which is great. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I can see Barbara's online. That might be Sue.
So that you don't annoy everyone else. I know. I'll go and sit over there. Okay, fine.
And I can see someone else online.
Oh, good. Who's that? She's doing a podcast, didn't he? Oh. Darlene sent me this, so I thought, well, I'll listen to it and see what we think.
Fantastic. So we've got a few people coming online. Just wait a few more minutes
I
until.
know, it'll only be 15 minutes. Don't they record it? She said she's recording it, so I'll just ask how I can get into it.
Is that Barbara? I think I can hear you talking. Is that you, Barbara?
Yes. How? Like I can only be here for 15 minutes.
I know, because you've got something on. Yes, I am recording it. So I'm hoping to finish up in about 40 minutes. So you just duck away when you need to, and I will post the recording up on Facebook, but I'll also email you a link to watch it as well, Barbara, so you can.
Fantastic.
I'll put it up on YouTube so you can have it.
Great, thank you. Yeah, the friends just said, so you're not talking to us now. I went, oh, sorry, no. I had a look at some flights today.
How'd you go?
Oh, not good.
I know, I had a look as well after we spoke. I'm like, oh, Brisbane has to be the only city that doesn't have good connections.
31 hours to get there, one of them was.
Well, I know, some of them are terrible.
No.
So I think the best option is probably going to be via either Bali or Singapore.
Yes, but I think we may need to fly to Sydney.
Okay, I hadn't looked at that. All right. Yep.
Because one of them said we had to. Yeah, see, actually, probably Singapore would be better. So you just fly to Singapore, but as far as I know, you can't get to Kuala Lumpur. I think you've got to go Singapore, then back to Kuala Lumpur. So from Singapore, you could fly straight there.
Unfortunately, I read some articles after we spoke this afternoon and said that Malaysian Airlines pulled their Brisbane flights in 2023.
Yep.
I did also read that they are supposed to be restarting this year in March, but
okay.
I can't see any flights showing availability as yet. So
no.
It could be like a watch this space, or it could be one of those things that they wanted to restart and actually isn't going to.
Well, if the government will allow them to.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
You know,
they've got to have it all together, don't they?
Yep. Yep. But one of them was fly to Perth, then fly up. But I didn't think of flying to Bali and then across. So I'll look for that one.
Yeah, the Bali one might be a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, hello, Sarah. I can see you there. How
are you? Good, Penny. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
And Sue?
Sue's here.
I'm here. I'm trying to get my my camera to work.
Okay, so I can see someone else is here, but I'm not sure who they are, but it's iPad, but we hello to you anyway. Why don't you say hi in the chat and just let us know where you are tuning in from tonight. I am in Geelong tonight. I am home in Geelong. So that is very nice.
Hi, Penny. Mary here at Malakuta at the moment.
Oh, hi, Mary. How are you? Oh, beautiful Malakuta. Are you on holiday there, Mary, or is that where
Yes, I am.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, and Sarah's in Lorne. You're on holiday.
And I'm at Trivia just outside of Brisbane.
Barbara's at Trivia. Ignoring her friends.
Sorry?
I said you're ignoring your friends.
Yes, I've ditched my friends for a bit.
Are we doing trivia? All right, so we have hit 7:30. So in Melbourne anyway. I am recording, so I haven't forgotten this time, which is good. I forgot last time. But yeah, it's great to have you here, and I wanted to take this chance to say hi and to give you some information about the Borneo trip in June, which is proving to be super exciting. And there's been so much interest, and it's been, yeah, really great to talk to people about the trip. And it's coming up very soon. So I know some of you, Barbara, I've spoke to you for the first time today, which was lovely. Mary, we've been in touch a little bit on email. And Sue and Sarah, you have traveled with Pip and Co Travel before, which is great. So it's lovely to see you back having a think about maybe doing another trip in 2025, which is also very exciting. So, you know a little bit about me and what I've been up to, but Pip and Co Travel has been around for just over a year, and we had our first trips last year to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, which was really exciting. My background's in tourism. I've worked in tourism for a long time, and it's really nice to be doing my own thing. Asia is my special place. I love traveling in Asia. I've lived in Asia a few times as well. I've learnt some Asian languages, and I feel very at home traveling in Asia. And I want to take the opportunity to, share my love for travel and Asia, especially with other travelers as well. And that is why Pip and Co Travel now exists. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Ken.
How are you?
Thanks.
So, what I thought I would do is to start off by sharing sharing a map of where Borneo is, because I know that when we start to think about a place like Borneo, we kind of know in our minds where it is, but then it's a bit like, oh, I didn't realize it was up there. And that's how I felt when I started, being into Borneo research. So you can probably see a very faint little red line in the middle of your screen there, and that is Sabah. So that's the state where the trip is going. Borneo itself is actually this bigger island, and there's actually three countries on the island of Borneo. So this southern part here, where you can see it says Kalimantan, that's Indonesia. Brunei is stuck here in the middle between the two Malaysian states of Sabah and Sarawak. So these bits are Malaysia, and then Brunei's in the middle. And then over here to the west, Singapore you can see, and then Kuala Lumpur is here as well. And I know we were talking about flights earlier, just briefly, Barbara, too. I will go into that in a bit more detail, but most of us will be transiting through Kuala Lumpur to get to the state of Sabah. So you can see here that Sabah's right at the north tip of the island of Borneo. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can see some of the places that we're going to be visiting. Sandakan is the starting point of our tour. And then we are going a little bit north here up to one of the islands, and then down here to Sepalok, and then to the Kinabalu River, and then across over here to Kinabalu National Park, and then finishing in Kota Kinabalu. So when we are looking at flights, we will be flying into one city and leaving from another. So just keep that in mind if you are looking for flights. Oh, I can see Jan's joined. Hi, Jan. How are you? So that's a little snapshot of the island of Borneo. If you have any questions, feel free to yell out or pop them in the chat as well. Happy to answer questions as we go along. So I'll just stop sharing this and we'll go back to our normal screen. So we are going to be traveling across to Borneo in June, which is a great time to go. So there's a wet and a dry season. So the dry season extends really from April to September. So we're going in June, which is just before the peak seasons of July and August, but also a great weather-wise time to go. So we should have dry weather. The humidity is always high in Borneo, but it's slightly lower in that time of year. Temperatures don't drop much below 23, 24, and should probably get up to about 31, 32 during the day. But super high humidity all the time. So, that 80% kind of humidity that we expect in that part of the world. It's an 8 night, 9 day trip running from the 19th to the 27th of June. And the absolute maximum people I can take on the trip is 12. So if you are interested, I would recommend jumping straight on and after this session and making sure you're registered on the booking site and paying your deposit. And for everyone here tonight and for this month of June,
I'm sorry.
you can secure your spot for $100. And normally it's a $500 deposit. So just to make sure if you want to get on, you can do that and just pay $100 and that will save your spot on the trip.
I'll have to go now, but I'll listen to the rest of it.
No worries, Barbara. Enjoy trivia.
Sorry.
Hope it goes well.
We will.
See you.
Bye. I don't know how to get out.
You should just be able to hit end call. Can you see that? Or end, something like that? So yeah, so getting quick is what I think is the message here. Just in case we end up with lots of people and then disappointed people who can't fit onto the trip. So Barbara and I were talking about flights earlier today because some of you, depending where you're based, access getting there can be a little bit tricky. So when you look at flights, Kuala Lumpur is like probably the most obvious hub to go through, and then you need to catch a domestic flight across to the island of Borneo. So if you would like me to help you with flight searches, I'm more than happy to do that. The airlines that are flying out of Australia into Borneo, Malaysian Airlines, Air Asia, and from some cities, there's another budget airline called Batik Air as well. So they're probably the three main ones to look at. The other option is Singapore Airlines, which you can fly home from. So Kota Kinabalu is the final city, and there's a direct flight from Kota Kinabalu back to Singapore on Scoot. And then from Singapore, you could fly home with Jetstar or Singapore Airlines or Qantas. So that could be another option as well, which might mean you, if you wanted to have a stopover, you could potentially go through two different cities as well, KL on the way over and Singapore on the way home. On that note too, some of the flights are kind of like overnighty, kind of not the best time. So if you do want to have an extra night before the trip starts, depending on what flights you look at, you might want to have that extra night in Kuala Lumpur on the way over and then take a domestic flight to Sandakan in the morning. Or you might want to get to Sandakan the night before and just pay extra to have that night in the hotel before the trip starts. So if you want to do either of those things, I'm happy to help you with accommodation for that extra night as well. I think it would be great to get to Sandakan by about 2 or 3 o'clock on the first day of the trip, because we do have a few things already starting in the afternoon before our welcome dinner. So just keep that in mind as well when you're looking at flights. And likewise, when you're going home, you might want to add another night or two at the end of the trip at Kota Kinabalu. We're staying in a really nice resort, so you might want to stay there, or you might want to travel across to Peninsular Malaysia and have a night or two in Kuala Lumpur or Penang. So if you need any help with accommodation, just let me know and I will help you sort some extra nights. So we are moving about a bit, and you probably saw in the map before when I was showing you the little spots. And I've put on Facebook too another little map that I put together myself, drew it on Google Maps, just to show the rough route of the itinerary. But we're staying in some really interesting places, and a real mix, I guess, of standards and types of accommodation. You know, our first night's at a pretty nice 4-star hotel, and our second night we're going to be glamping on a turtle hatchery, a conservation island north of Sandakan called Librarian Island. And then we've got a night in a nature lodge. And then we've also got 2 nights at another, riverside lodge, which is only accessible by boat. And it looks really fun and great and jungly. And also a couple of nights at the end in a resort as well. So a real mix of standards and types of accommodation, which I think, makes for an interesting trip, but also just, keep in mind when you're thinking about what to expect, that some of the accommodation, especially the jungle lodge types setup, is maybe a bit more rustic than you might be used to. Still, all the things that you would expect, like air conditioning, fans, precautions for mosquitoes, on-site restaurant bar kind of setup. So, we're not talking, really basic stuff, but just so you know that, some of the places are not 5-star luxury resorts. But, to get into this nature area, it's worth it for sure. I have read that, staying by the river, there's chances that, orangutans really get up close to the resort and to the lodge. And I just think, oh, wow, wouldn't that be just amazing if that happened when we were there? We're sitting on our little balconies and an orangutan comes swinging past. I can see Sue giving a thumbs up. I know, how amazing would that be? Just think of all the bird life as well. Be pretty cool. I really want to see some pygmy elephants. I don't know about you guys, but I have seen them on video and they look very, very, very cute. But no guarantees at all that we will be seeing any of these amazing, amazing creatures, but we just have to do our best spotting and best hoping and finger crossing that we will be able to see all these amazing creatures. So just wanted to run through a few of the highlights of the trip and some of the kind of activities that you can look forward to doing. On our first day, when we get to Sandakan, we've got a chance to look around the city and see some of the historical sites. We go to Agnes Keith House, and she was an American woman who lived in Borneo during World War I. So this is like a historical kind of time capsule of her life during that period. And also to the Sandakan War Memorial. So there's lots of kind of war history and history in Sandakan itself. And we have a lovely welcome dinner on that first night as well. And then we're straight up for the next day. We're going to the Turtle Conservation Island. And that's when we're staying in our glamping tents, visiting the turtle hatchery, hoping that there might be some turtles coming to shore over the night, do some activities with the locals on the island. And yeah, have a kind of a change of scene as well, which will be really nice. Then we take the boat back to the main island of Borneo and go down to Sepalok, which is a very, there's a lot of amazing conservation and tourist sites in that area of Sepalok. So we'll be going to the Orangutan Conservation Sanctuary, the Sun Bear Conservation Sanctuary, and the Rainforest Discovery Centre. All of which just look fantastic, and we'll be able to go back to the Rainforest Discovery Centre in the evening for a special night walk, a nocturnal animal and creature discovery walk with a ranger as well. So I think that'll be something to really look forward to see things at a different time and be there in the evening or be there in the night. And the next day, another big highlight of the trip, we're traveling down to the Kinabalu River. And so that's a couple hours drive southeast. And our first river cruise will be that afternoon. So the lodge, like I mentioned before, is the lodge that is accessible by boat only. And so the Kinabalu River is the second longest river in Malaysia, and looks absolutely beautiful. Gibbons, birds, the pygmy elephants, orangutans, proboscis monkeys. There's going to be lots to look out for in that part of the world. And the next day, we're also doing another boat cruise. We'll do a pre-breakfast boat cruise and then another one in the late afternoon. So we kind of get to maximize our time on the river by going out at different times of day. So that takes us right through to day 6. And on this day, we've got a long drive. It's about 6 hours to get to Kinabalu National Park. So we take the boat back onto off the river part. And then we drive over to Kinabalu Park. So that's over into the western side of Sabah. We'll have the chance in the afternoon to do some short walks around where we're staying. And then the next morning on day 7, we're visiting a local village, a community tourism social enterprise setup where we get to learn about some of the local culture, learn some traditions and way of life, and see some, I guess, way that people are living in more traditional village life setups. And then we're on to Kota Kinabalu, which is the capital city of the state of Sabah. And we have day 8, which is the final full day of the itinerary, is a free day. So you might choose to chill out at the resort. It's a really nice resort. It's on the beach. You might like to sign up for a snorkeling trip. There is a marine national park just off the main coast of Kota Kinabalu. So that could be something that some of you might be interested in doing. Or you might like to travel into Kota Kinabalu city itself, explore the town, markets, try some of the yummy food, see the mosque, museum, some of those things as well. And then we get together for our final dinner of the trip. And then day 9 is the final day. So it's just brekkie on that day and then no other activities. So depending on what you've got on, you can book flights to leave anytime on that day or extend your stay, whatever you feel like doing. So lots of meals are included, breakfast every day, 4 lunches, 5 dinners, airport transfers, all the transport through the trip, including all the boats we're going on, and minivan transport between all the main cities and towns. No need for a visa for Malaysia as well. So this is different to some of the trips that some of you might have come on last year. We can relax in a visa situation, which is nice. But you will need travel insurance. So just remember to sort that out as well. And if you need any help with companies to compare, just let me know. I can send you through a few that I've used in the past. Dietary requirements, most things we can cater for. So vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan, gluten-free, whatever it is that you are, just let me know. And if there's any problems, I will let you know back. But, I've had some really great success with looking after people's dietary needs. So don't feel worried if that is you. There is a limit on the number of solo rooms that we can have on this trip. So at the moment, there's only 4 solo rooms available. So if you are keen for a solo room, I would suggest putting yourself down for one of those ASAP. It is an additional $590 to have your own room. So it's $3,475 for twin share and an additional $590 for your own room. So if you are keen for that, put yourself down. I just need to check whether the glamping tent will be solo or not. I have a feeling that even if you've requested solo, that we might have to share when we're on the island, but I need to confirm that because there is only a limited amount of tents on the island. So we just need to make sure. So even if you are solo, there might be just the one night that you do need to share, but I will double check that and get back to you, because I think there can only be 16 travelers at one time staying on that island. So yeah, a limit of 10s. We're going to have a great local guide with us as well, which I'm a huge fan of. I think having local guides with us just brings a lot of, value and knowledge to the group, not just their language skills, but, all their foodie knowledge and all their history and cultural knowledge is, really amazing. And it's so great to have them. So we'll have a guide with us the whole time up until the night of day 7. And then we've got that day 8, which we're free to do resort or snorkeling or city stuff ourselves. Plus, we will be having local specialist guides with us as well. So things like when we're doing the river cruise or the night walk at the Rainforest Discovery Centre, or we're out at the Turtle Conservation Park, we're going to have local experts with us too, giving their insight into the work they're doing on the conservation side of things, or their kind of expert knowledge on flora and fauna, which I think will be great as well. Yes, so very excited about all of those things. I was mentioning at the start, or maybe I was mentioning to Barbara on our phone call this afternoon, that we have the $100 deposit available for this month. So if you want to save your spot, it's easy to do it with $100. And if you are thinking of how to, I guess, stagger the payments, I'm very open to doing a payment plan for the remainder of the money as well. So just shout out if that's something you think might be valuable to you. And I have sped through all my little notes in a in a very fast way. But yeah, I think I've covered most of the things I wanted to talk about. I mean, there's lots of other things to go through in terms of, other fun stuff or other flight ideas, but that's just a nice kind of snippet and overview of the trip. So please let me know if you've got any questions. If you want to come off mute or say anything, that is great.
Thanks, Penny. That was very helpful. Do you know what the coffee situation is in Borneo?
Oh,
Good coffee?
sweet. Too sweet. I don't think you're going to like it,
Oh,
Sarah.
sweet. Oh, really? Oh.
I think from my Malaysian coffee experience, it hasn't always been the nicest the nicest coffee. But you
Okay.
never know. You never know. Open mind. I'm sure there's
Um,
going to be some really tasty things to try that may or may not be coffee. Tea definitely will be a big hit. And definitely fruit juices, really nice fruit juices and smoothies and those kind of refreshing cool drinks as well. But yes, I know coffee is also important.
very. Might have to BYO.
Yeah, I know, one of these little portable things. Sue said, will we need hiking shoes or boots? That is a really good question. I'm not sure. I know leeches are potentially a little bit of a problem. Hi, Marion, how are you?
Hi.
So, some people might feel more comfortable with a boot or a shoe that extends a little bit up the ankle. Otherwise, you can get those plastic kind of gaitery things that go over the top of your shoe to cover your ankle, or you can just be very, I guess, disciplined with searching your ankles to make sure there aren't any little leeches sucking onto your skin. Or leech socks. Yeah, okay. I have heard
Hmm.
about those. Do they work? Have you tried them before? Repellent. Oh, yes, repellent's really important, actually. Repellent's important for lots of things, not just leeches. But yeah, mozzies as well. I reckon probably runners would be enough. I definitely would bring runners, and I wouldn't bring runners that you're not happy with getting muddy. But yeah, definitely a shoe with some good grip that you're happy to walk around in. Sandals will be good as well, because there will be times when we're, not trekking around, but it'd be nice to have some sandals that you're happy to walk around as well, that you can walk shortish, reasonable distances. There's not a heap of walking on the trip. This was a question that came up a little while ago as well, but there'll obviously be options to go and do walking as much as you need to or want to in some of the free time as well. But in terms of kind of fitness and, being prepared, lots of boat trips. So getting in and out of boats, a little bit of sand walking on, especially when we're on the island where the turtle hatchery is, and not having to lug bags a long distance, but being able to carry your bag for a little bit to and from your room would be great too. So whether that means you want to bring a backpack or a wheelie bag, whatever works for you and whatever you've got really at home or what you're comfy carrying. I know everyone's got their own preferences for what bags they like to bring. But I definitely think if you're bringing a case, to bring a little day pack, a little bag with you as well, so that you've got things handy with you, water and hats and repellent and sunscreen. So you've always got that handy. So when we're out on the boat or we're out doing things, that you are sorted, so that if we do come across lots of mozzies, we can sort them out. Other clothing recommendations, just because it is going to be warm and humid, clothing that you find comfy and cool, things that you can walk in comfortably. So if you want to wear skirts and dresses or anything like that, maybe you might need little shorts underneath so that the sweat doesn't irritate you too much. Otherwise, just shorts or trousers, three-quarter pants. Definitely cool, breathable fabrics would be great. And if you can, things with like a little collar or things that cover your shoulders, just so that you've got a bit of sun protection as well. But that's up to you, personal choice. Hat, sunnies, always important and good. And bathers, there'll be chance for swimming in some places. What else? Nothing fancy. There's no real fancy dressing up going on in this trip. So you don't need to worry too much about you know, frocking up for dinner or anything like that. So this is the other great thing about this trip, we'll be able to pack quite light, because we'll be doing a lot of, wearing similar things each day. So if you wanted to pack light, like one of our travelers on the Cambodia and Laos trip, she put us all to shame. She was a very light packer, wasn't she? And she rinsed and washed every second night. But that might be a bit too much for some of us, but I was impressed. Sarah says, I wish I was good at packing light. I know. Step by step, Sarah. Sue, any cultural clothing issues? Yeah, really good question. So shoulders are always something that's worth covering. So in towns, in cities, especially if we are going exploring to cultural sites, like if we go into Kota Kinabalu on that final day and want to have a look around, there is, a very popular mosque that we can go into. So if that is something that you are thinking of doing, I would definitely pack something with sleeves and something that goes below your knees. I will need to check whether we need to do full length skirts or pants for visiting mosques, because sometimes you can borrow a wrap when you go to visit a mosque, and a headscarf. So I can find that out, and whether there's any other cultural places that we need to be considerate of in terms of clothing. But generally, I think shoulders and above knees. But when we're at the beach and stuff like that, it's not that we're at the beach that much, but at the final day, that won't be such a big deal. But yeah, I can find that out as well. Are there any other questions or thoughts or ideas?
Sorry, I came in late. I got stuck in a meeting with work I couldn't get out of.
No worries. Nice to
Um,
see
So I might ask questions that have already been asked before. The internal flights,
you. Yep.
what sort of airlines are we, well, aircraft are we dealing with there? Are we talking like little Cessnas, or are we talking?
No, so they're either the Airbus or the Boeing 737. So the normal kind of rows of three and three with an aisle down the middle. So something that,
Oh, so for the internal ones.
yeah, so that's a domestic flight. So from Kuala Lumpur to Sandakan or from Kota Kinabalu back to Kuala Lumpur, I guess I would call it a normal aircraft that we would fly Sydney, Brisbane or something like
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about internally. Maybe I'm confused with another
that. No, so
itinerary.
we
Does
don't
yours?
have an internal flight in this one. Yep. So
Okay.
there are some trips that have an internal flight from Sandakan across to Kota Kinabalu. But we are, maybe I'll just pull up the map, but we are traveling over on by road. So just get this out of the way. So can you see
I
this?
can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So Sandakan's the starting point, and we go up to this little island here first, and then down to Sepalok, which is in here somewhere. Oh, they're showing over there actually. And then so we've got one night in Sandakan, then one night on the island, then the third night's in Sepalok. And then the next 2 nights are down on the Kinabatung River, which is down over here. We're staying kind of near where it says wildlife sanctuary.
Okay, so it's road itinerary.
Yeah,
That's perfect. Yeah, okay. I must have been looking at the other one. So this is the
yeah.
one.
There's a few trips to fly. There was a couple of reasons why I didn't want to do it. One was, one was I didn't want to waste time or backtrack. I'm not a fan of backtracking. And I just thought the road trip is 6 hours. So I mean it's not short, but it's for me, I feel like it's short enough to not warrant the flight, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay. And do you and Sarah come on the trips?
Yeah. Well, Sarah's hopefully going to come on this trip.
Okay, great. Okay, so it's Sandakan down. Okay, that works better for me. I thought it was the other way around.
So Sandakan's the starting point, and then tracking west to Kota Kinabalu, which is the final city. And then that's the departure city. And that's actually a really good transport hub. So you can fly back to Kuala Lumpur from there, or you can fly to Singapore as well.
Yeah, no, that works better. That's going to help me because I'm in Broome.
Okay. Yeah.
And we can now fly direct from Broome to Singapore on Tuesdays
Oh,
and
fantastic. I
Saturdays.
didn't realize that. How exciting. That's
Yeah, so I want to try and work it that I can do one direct and then whichever, whether it's the start or the end, do one via Perth so I can go and visit my head office because I work remotely in Broome.
yep.
So that actually makes it easier because Sandakan appeared really difficult to try and get back to WA,
Yep. But
whereas
Kota Kinabalu is much
south it's a
easier.
lot easier.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure. Oh, yeah, that's great. I mean, you're lucky in the WA as well, just having, even though, I mean, Broome is another challenge, but the flights from Perth are great
Yeah.
in terms of time and distance. So that's really,
Okay.
really good. Um,
And Marianne, just for so things are clear, I'm a fellow traveller. I don't work with Penny.
I'm
Um,
a massive traveller. Are you familiar with Skull? SKAL, Skull International
no.
Tourism Network. So I've pretty much travelled all over the world for years and years. But yeah, now I'm getting a bit older now, mid-50s, and I want to do something for myself. I've got
yeah.
out of
Youngster.
the tourism industry, so I'm just looking for the right company to book a decent holiday with.
Well,
No,
both.
I travelled with Penny in was it November? Yeah, no, only November. Feels
know.
like ages ago, but I travelled with Penny in November.
Likewise, so
Which
did
was
Jan.
fabulous.
So we're
And what you're
groupers.
doing here is fantastic. It's makes it so much more comfortable when you're trying to pick, you know, who to travel with. So
We've come back for a second bite, so we're happy to travel with Penny. And so there's Sarah's been before, Jan's been before, and I've been before in November to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, and very much looking forward to Borneo.
that's sounds like I've picked the right one here. So
Look, if you want a good group of women to have fun with, yeah, and
yeah,
all very much like
Yeah.
mine.
Anyway, fingers crossed.
yeah,
Um,
sounds great.
we talked a little bit about the flights at the start, so I will post the recording of this call to Marianne. So if there's anything you want to go back, you can have a look in case there's something that you missed that you wanted to just double check on. We talked a bit about the flights, a bit about the itinerary, some of the activities, a bit of day by day, what we're going to be getting up to.
Yeah,
And I think that was mainly what we covered, a little bit about the different types of accommodation, and just the first day, just thinking about timing. So I said try and get about 2 or 3 o'clock on that first day.
yeah.
Are there-
I guess I'm just looking to travel with a group of open-minded, happy people who love photography, wildlife,
Oh,
meeting people, eating really good food, slightly slower pace. Yeah.
Sue is a big photographer, so you'll have lots of in common with her, and a big nature spotter person.
Well, that's perfect. Yeah, I did 3 weeks in Africa a couple of years ago. So
Oh, that would be great.
yeah, love wildlife. This would be something amazing.
Mary, is that you saying, are there stops on that 6-hour drive to see anything or toilet stop? It's not a particularly scenic drive in terms of, you know, things to stop and see, but we are definitely going to have toilet and drink stops. One of the things that the tour company that I'm working with, who's got the guide who's going to be coming with us on this trip, said about the road trip was that it's really, I guess it's eye-opening for visitors and potentially a little bit confronting as well, because as tourists to Sabah, to Borneo, we are going to all these amazing jungle and rainforest and conservation areas. But on this road trip across to the western part of the island, we will see parts of the island which have been cleared for palm oil or for other types of logging and clearing stuff. So there is that to factor in as well, that it's, you know, as it is, this is the whole island. This is what we'll be seeing. But I thought, you know, it's worth it to be out there and having a look at the real Borneo, as a part, you know, being flying across and missing out on all of that stuff. But I'm a big believer that we have to have coffee stops and toilet stops, because otherwise no one is having a fun time or a comfortable time. So yes, that is very important. The reality is, yes, says Linda, yeah, I know. And it'll be really nice to be in those beautiful rainforest jungle environments. And then also know that, you know, this exists as well. But there's been huge, you know, there's lots of conservation stuff happening over there. And I think that's going to be really interesting to learn about as well. From the people we get to meet when we are learning about the orangutans and the sun bears, and at the rainforest center and the turtle hatchery. Yeah, there's lots of really interesting, really cool stuff. And of course the river cruise is probably something I'm really looking forward to as one of the big highlights as well. Yeah, are there any other burning questions or little thoughts or ideas before we say bye? I will just post, I think most of you have registered already. I'll just share the trip link where you need to go and register. And if you are keen to pay your deposit, so it's just $100 to save your spot. And then you'll be on the system and you'll get all the messages, letting you know when you need to pay the rest, and just making sure we're keeping track of things like flights and travel insurance and all those other things too in the lead up to June. So that's the link for registering. But thank you so much for joining tonight. Really lovely to see you all. Some new faces and some returning travelers. It's a really good mix of people. And I hope Barbara is winning a trivia as we speak. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Marion. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Penny.
And
Great
yes,
to see everyone.
feel free, just get in touch, email, phone, any questions you have. I'm always happy to answer. And if there's things I don't know, I will definitely find them out for you as well.
Thanks,
Thanks very
Penny.
much.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
Now,
you.
Sarah, are you in Lawn?
Yeah. Are you
I'm in
are you in
Moggs
Mogs?
Creek.
Oh, I wondered if you might be there, and I should have thought about it earlier.
Yeah, next
'Cause,
time.
yeah, I've got Mum with me. We're just down here for 4 nights, so yeah, next
Nice.
time.
Enjoy. The weather's
Thank
been
you.
lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, so lucky.
Yeah,
So
not too
lucky with
hot.
the weather.
Been good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See
Anyway,
ya.
good to see you. Bye.
See
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Mary. Bye.